Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome back. This is Daily Trading Analysis with a quick market update for today, April 22nd, Monday, starting last week of the month of April. Today on Monday, we didn't have too much of information. We just have Chicago Fed national activity, and it came more or less as expected, 0.15 instead of the 0.09. So basically, the activity is still bumping. And on the bill auctions, it's more or less the same, a little bit higher on the interest rates that go for the 3-month and 6-month bills, but basically we are flat on the yields. But today is not about economic data. Today is about price action and technical analysis. And let me tell you that today is one of those days in which if you were patient, you were rewarded. Why? Because the Nasdaq opened with a gap. Both the Nasdaq and the ES both opened with a gap, and I was really watching that gap into the overnight, because when we usually open with a gap and the UK 100, it's, look at this is all-time highs for the FTSE, for the UK index. When the dollar, it's just chopping around, yields are also chopping around without direction. When the Nasdaq opens with a gap, with all this oversold activity that we got last week, there's certainly a lot of opportunity, but we have to be careful when to enter. Because as you can see, we were during the overnight, this is a 15-minute chart, we were just trying to gain a little bit of traction, but all this liquidity down here, I usually wait into the open and look at this trap, because I didn't take the trade, but this is just what they do. Into the open, they push higher towards this liquidity and they failed. And I was waiting for the gap to see the response basically at this gap area, to see if it's gap fill and rejection, if it's gap through. And I was watching also this liquidity down here from Friday, but the key was in the ES. The ES was so bullish that we never went through the gap, partial gap fill and then rejection. It's one of the most bullish signals that you can encounter in a stock market, in equities also, and it's still pushing. So once I knew that the ES was the really stronger equity today rather than the Nasdaq, I was watching small caps, and we dump, we V reversal, then we dump a little bit, and then we started at around noon, we started to grind higher. At around noon, we started to bounce on this. One would say this is an inverted head and shoulders. So basically, this is a setup that a lot of retail traders must have traded for sure today. But I was watching the inverse fair value gap. But coming back again to the Russell was pushing. The Nvidia started to push higher, but the key was also on Google, Meta, Nvidia, Apple also pushing, Microsoft right now also V reversal, and the dollar was basically trending lower. So that was the opportunity. So we got our bias, bullish for the failed auction down here, and on the ES was pretty damn nice on the gap reversal. And as you can see, I have this 5-minute fair value gap that I was watching on the inverse. And the bad thing is that I didn't get filled. Why? Because I was waiting for what usually my setup. So basically failed auction, push higher into the inverse, and then I would like to buy the retest of the inverse. But we didn't have any fair value gap here. We have an order block down here that never got tested again. We were so bullish that basically the setup didn't complete and I didn't chase. And we are right now trying to get rid of this liquidity that for sure a lot of people were waiting during the overnight to just push into this buy side liquidity. But we are doing it right now at 1 p.m. So that's why you have to be patient, because for sure, I think a lot of you were trying to buy this market, but they first dump and then buy the market at a better price with all these people getting destroyed. Sometimes impatient traders are liquidity for the smart money. And this is one of the best cases lately. It was super bullish today. I didn't get my setup, but I basically was with the proper sentiment and the proper bias for today after a big oversold activity last week. Today we are just trying to push higher with a lot of liquidity during the overnight being trapped. The ES is pushing, Nvidia is almost 4%, and everything despite the fact that Tesla is 3.5% in the red. Looking at the breadth, as you can see, we are RSP 0.80. We are just bouncing from the golden pocket technical level that I was analyzing on my weekly recap on Saturday. If you didn't watch that video, I really recommend it. So there's a lot of technical analysis and price action levels. And on the percentage of stocks on the breadth, we are super green. Look at this momentum. 43% of stocks are above the 20-day moving average. So today it's quite bullish. Also on the market internals down here, we can see volume coming in. We can see advanced decliners pushing higher. This is the ES. And on the Nasdaq, we can see also volume really screaming higher, advanced decliners, a little bit of pullback, and then pushing higher. Tick charts just screaming green. So everything is looking great right now. Now, if you didn't trade this price action as I did, we just took the buy side liquidity and all the shorts are basically gone from there. Let's see when, let's go to the 15-minute chart. We have still a lot of structure here on the left-hand side. One would say that this might be a target, but there's no fair value gap. So basically, today's objective, in my opinion, it's done. If you didn't trade this reversal, my recommendation is just to shut down everything and wait for tomorrow, because the objective is already done. Smart money took the liquidity, bounced off the gap, and pushed to the liquidity on the other side. So we just complete our goal. And right now, risk is unbelievably high because the algos are done. The people that were positioned, it's already positioned down here. So if you are late to the party, most probably you will just get chopped down here into the close. And I think that's the best thing you can do. Wait for tomorrow, because on the, let's go to the NQ continuous chart. I was watching also these levels down here, but basically we got our green candle after a really bad week last week. So the green candle, let's see where do we end up today. Let's see the open interest tomorrow from today. Let's see where the dollar stands, where the yield stands, because dollar is super oversold today. The Russell is continuing higher. So there's a lot of people buying today this market. But we have to get continuation throughout the week and see what happens. So it's a good Monday if you were patient. It's a good Monday if you were watching technical levels like the gap fill on the ES and some inverse fair value gaps down there. The Nasdaq filled the gap but never got this liquidity. I would like to have bought right down here, but we never got the opportunity. Sometimes you miss those. I also missed the opportunity down here, but that doesn't matter because the plan was successful. We understood the market, we were patient, and if you were successful with your trade, congratulations, because today was really nice buy V reversal with structure for some retailers, gap fill. I mean, today is quite technical. So if you are in the green, take those profits and wait for better opportunities tomorrow and the rest of the week. So that's all from my side. As always, thank you for your time. If you found this video useful, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel. I upload videos like this one every single day for market forecast, market updates, and market recaps. I appreciate your time as always. If you didn't watch my weekly recap video, please go ahead and let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Stay safe, everyone. Remember that patients, like for the ones today, patients were successful. So patience, discipline, risk management is key for your success. Stay safe, everyone, and see you tomorrow.